I don't care what they say, I don't care what the day will bring, as long as the day brings me. Out from underneath the cloak and the curtain, I'm joking if I'm certain I know what's going on, and I'm turning everyone's attention back to the back room while I'm trying to be in the upper one. Something a person like me might try to do. Something a person I used to know, but then the new told the old to go, and who follows me on roads I do unique kind of things on, sing songs, expecting people to understand how to sing along. When it's freestyle, then I'm just gone in a whole different kind of swarming around the trifecta of the Bermuda Triangle. I let a triangle entangle my thoughts around again, and I throw it back and it comes back again, and wrapping it like a big old helicopter fin. Been hucking some things along the road of life. I'm gone. The Bermuda Triangle told you I'm entangled and coming back to the truth. Call it a boomerang. You thought I was in the outback. Who is from Australia? 2 turtle doves for Christmas time. I wish I'd find what I need quicker than trying to find the things that I could think I want. So what's up? What's up is lunch. In other words, I'm going to take a break. Disappear for a minute or two and wonder what people think. Just to come back and learn that no one had a question about who I was or where I turned. A message in a bottle, call it an urn. Sifting through the sands that I'd like to learn. Who got burned so hard with something they thought was so hard, but didn't try hard enough to call on the one that makes the hard things not so tough. Are you sure you know how to do this music stuff? Well, I don't know. What if I just know enough? What if I learned that everything that I could learn just won't even scratch the surface of everything I'm trying to surface above the depth of who I was before I became a shallow person? Cold hard heart when I was searching for the validation of anyone that I could get to be cursing. Trying to make people mad about some things. Trying to get a reaction out of them, please. Just get mad at me, I think. It's the anger and the fuel to the fire that I need. Because I've got so many things. I've got so many things to be erupting. See? Like the volcanoes, the volcanic ash. It's like I'm just past it. So far gone that I blew off at the top. Call it knock a top off. What I'm saying is, I'm explaining this. It's like an explosion. Each time you open it, controversy gets worse. You're looking at the news and you search, trying to find out something that might be worth it to you. Searching through whose perception of what they're expecting life to be next week. Next week, you're more empty because you're searching to find something that'll fill you that's so temporary that it kills you when it's scary how fast it leaves. Actually, no matter what we think, each time we come up with a new conclusion, we realize that we're just doing things wrong. You're not supposed to find the answers in life. You're supposed to find that the answer to life is that we got to be answering our whole life to Jesus Christ at the end of life. So endure to the end and try to find out that in between it's all just what it might seem to be or not. And no matter what, it'll stop. The days always turn to nights and we always turn in, right? just like a werewolf. We say we don't care about trolls, and then we troll. Fishing in life behind the boat we try to go faster with, and then we think we should be catching more than we are. But everything just keeps slipping back and falling. Like the last car. Not the fast car, but the caboose. We want to, and we move to the front of the line and skip those behind just so that they get a second plate before us. Sure, a torn up kind of person. Might seem like someone who just spent their life rehearsing for a part they'd never get. Getting a heart that they'd never let soften again. Looking at the casting crew, and the cast and crew, actually, dude, they're all like you, finding their part in this game, but they're all just not quite on the mark, and they missed the opportunity to be doing these screenplays and speaking the lines right. And we say the play was great so that we can take the words we use to turn into the next one on the stage. Compliments don't make life turn out great. Any press is good press, and I'll be pressing you pretty hard to try to get to the truth of why you were in my yard. Meddling in my stuff, letting yourself just want what everyone else has, and you can't back up to where you were before. Just leave me alone. Leave me going where I'm going when I'm on the road, and I'm gonna keep roaming. Across is where I'm searching to be. As I'm floating on the seas, you'll find me beneath, and I need to be pulled up from things. Uprooted, please. I'm just reaping what I harvested. Harvested what I reaped. I'm just taking things I sowed and trying to see what's underneath. Digging into the plant life. Digging in, and I can't find, if I'm not digging up the roots to try to find out what I'd do if I could find out not what but who I was inside before I tried to climb the ladders of success, just to find out the scorching heat of the sun will leave me with, well, less. I used to have more when I was down at the same level as the shore. The water always ran to me then. Ooh, we pretend the heights will make us feel better until we hit that harsh weather. Whether we're willing to come back down, we're at the ceiling, and now we feel like there's nowhere else we can go because, well, no, there's not. You made it to the top. The only other option is to drop. Cycling the water, recycling it is, well, farther from truth than we often think we do. People don't understand what's really happening, man. Matter not being able to be created or destroyed leaves us with things that we have seen for generation and generation. All the girls and all the boys, all the people who have toured this earth and got annoyed with what it was and tried to make it something else, and, well, it wasn't something else, and so they had to accept what it was, and, well, Jonah in the belly of one. Jonah, and so a lot of people think that they can make a lot of steeples, trying to take a little bit of truth and turn it into something cool, and the plain and precious things, and, oh, it's precious, please don't misuse the wording. We a lot of times interpret things and don't understand what it really means to be a human being. Serving God and serving stop with all the serving, often we can drop and think we can serve ourselves. Why are you serving someone else? What if you run out? Fill your cup first, and then you can fill others, sir. Well, God fills my cup until it runneth over, and I can't empty it until I turn in for the night at the infinite night. But it's not an infinite night when I get resurrected, right? God brings me back to life. Are you sure about that? Well, I'm not sure, but I can ask. Hey, I got a question, so save it till the end of class. Get through the lesson first, and then we'll... laugh. Understanding that's all it was the whole time. And the whole time seems like halftime when we're wishing we had more of it left, and that's what we're expecting. Once we retire, we'll slow down. Well, you're a liar if you don't know now. Telling yourself that life will get better. Life is what it is now, no matter the weather. So, you gotta be able to weather the storm or you're not gonna get back home. Waiting for the better days as you're missing the days that you have, and it might not get better in ways. It's a place that we're supposed to be dealing with hard things. And so I'm sorry. And I always have the opportunity to fall in the same trap as you, but we can look at our path before us and step in the space between. Some sure footing. On this narrow road, it gets narrow, so we don't have to go searching around to try to find out how we'll get back home. Narrow is the road, and straight is the gate, and broad is the way that we will escape to hell. Oh my goodness. You know, Evan Strong, I thought that you made these big old long pieces of music that you call all in to do this whole preaching you do with the gospel of Jesus Christ. A little bit crazier is how I thought that they were, at least I heard the first. And why are you so calm right now? Call it the winds of change. Call it I'll pick up things, carry them for a while and dump them in a pile, drop a match and leave. Actually, I think I won't even look back and plead for a better future ahead until I get hit in the head with some things that make me do some things that I used to do that I now dread. Oh my gosh, stop. Hypothetically, because I don't dread a thing. I've been letting things be because it's all me. Craziest, the calmest, and all of it in between is just Evan Strong, and I could wish for whatever I want, but I just get what I get, and so I'm gonna take it. Take what you give in, and don't be giving in to anything in life though, because I don't know what the high score is. You're trying to win it, and you don't win this. You win by losing. Soon we see that you can invent the game. You can reinvent the wheel and think you're sane. But that's why I'm crazy, because I can't take things and make them be anything besides what they're already. And so the heavy kind of burdens in life might just be the kind of things that help me get through a lighter kind of life down the road if I can take the lessons I learned from the heavier things and use them to be propelling me. I talked about fuel. We need to fuel some things, and I got some fuel to be backing it up again to that, because I wish that actually I don't wish for a thing, but I wish people could see that all the things that we can have in life that can be hard for us and strife, you can call it strife, I call it a fuse, right? Like I'm going to be doing things to make it true. Like true in your arrow. Shooting your shot and taking it, and now you don't know where it's going to be hitting except for it hits the mark, and all the things that we do along the way are like the target. You're targeting yourself on the straight and narrow path, and along the way you can get into a lot of things that can make you crash. But use the fire to light the fuse. Use the fuse to do some things to get you true. Get back to the true north and get back to where you're going to go, or you'll miss your mark. But the whole time the mark was along the way. It's a longer game than a lot of people want to play. I call it the long game. I call it the place that I don't want to be taking a break. I'm just going to take the whole thing and break it at the end of it and just say I'm just going to let it sit there in two pieces. You see it broken. I see it as something that could be healed. So it's just a half full, half empty kind of thing. And I don't want to be looking at things at the bottom end of what could be toppling back to that again if I can just get to the top and sit there and win. What is he saying? A lot of things I say pretty often. A lot of things I say when I'm dropping a new hit music single. I'm just a single person who's hitting some things like the music. We could do whatever we wanted in life. But I'm going to ask you a question, all right? All those who talk down on you, are you going to use it as fuel? The more they tell me I can't do it, the more that I'm going to do it. The more that I make this music, the more that I get practice doing it. Oh. So, you're telling me that's why you unload. You're telling me that's why you're so mellow and other times you're going to explode. You're telling me the volcanic ash is something you can't get back. Once you go into outer space, what I'm trying to say is our space expands when we take the view we have on life and we just try to shake. All the things we adopted along the way off the back of the trailer. Hey, call it metaphoric, but it's for the horses. I'm not racing though, so sure, it's gonna take a little time to shake off the things off the back of the trailer that I don't need. Cleaning up though, call it cutthroat, sometimes the way I'm speaking, right? But I don't fish in life, I'm vegetarian. I won't cut your throat, but I won't say no jokes about the truth though, except when I do. Making it lighthearted because all of it can sometimes seem a lot more than we wanna accept. If we're not accepting the truth, then we're not accepting who we really are. This is the hard thing about life, and the reason I play the guitar, the reason I stand here, sit here, do whatever I do in these big gears and driving super fast through some things sometimes, speaking my words so quick that I think that I might just burn out like the engine I need to overhaul. I gotta know who to call. Because I could be on the crazy end of taking them all to a different kind of place that they couldn't even navigate on their own. On a road where they got to put it at 0.5 speed to try to find out what I'm trying to speak. Or I could be taking it nice and slow and no one knows if it's two sides to me or if I'm trying to be on both of the poles and saying bye to the seas. Bipolar, please. Higher and holier things means that no matter where I am, I'm in this space in between. On the high end or the low end, I'm just going. Then, maybe I'm not going so well and I'm joking. Maybe I'm not joking, but I'm choking. Maybe I don't know if I'm going to be open up again. And 5 o'clock comes, somewhere at least, and I'm closing the doors to life and I'm just starting to sink. I don't do these things, but metaphorically, we all do things that the doors just seem to can't close on. To can't close on, you cancel some things and then your show's on. So you go on, trying to make excuses of why you didn't do it when you wanted to be there with your homies, but you wanted to watch the movement of someone else because they're doing things that you can't seem to do on your own, and we can't be looking at other people's movements if we want to start a movement. See? You only can if there's someone who did it first, and so there's something for you to see, and it really is hard to turn our attention from looking outward to looking inside of who this guy or girl is when he or her feels like they can't earn this blessing they get, the peace they have, the happiness that now they can't seem to grab because it's up and it's down. What's up with him now? I thought this guy yelled about things and rapped and spoke so loud and fast. He had a guitar and every time he tried to play it, it seemed like it was about to crash. And then all of a sudden he's someone else, so it seems. No, I'm sowing seeds. I know I say these things often. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to not be stopping. I'm here to be all in. I'm here to be calling the authorities saying, sure, we need to uphold the law, but hold it, officer. You're going a little bit too far with that. In fact, don't hurt me, man. And so it's a different road. Oh, so you thought I was gonna start to go a little bit crazy with it again? I might. I'm just digging in. I'm just getting started with this. I'm just getting started, so sit. Everyone in your seats and see if each and every one of you can be a little bit of a friendly person. Friendly search inside your purses and pockets to try to find what you can use to stop this when things are not just what you wanted. That's why they don't allow you in the theater. Call it musical theater. I call it. I've been doing some things and seeing your schemes you got before your schemes just stop anyone else that you're trying to, and it all goes pop. It's all the same. Oh, shoot. You want to get out of the cage, don't make the cage. Don't cage the place. Don't cage them, wait. Wait for the cage fights and see if you can take a step inside that ring. But you like to see what you like to see. So you'll do it like a pay-per-view. You'll pay to do some things that you wouldn't do. You'll pay to watch them do some things that you would not think are an option. So you bet on who will win and who will not win, and you will not be doing anything like these guys, but you'll claim to be a carbon copy, dressing just like them. Oh, the wrath of God is back. Actually, I stopped it at the part that I did to show you the dichotomy of this, because I can sit there and be all sweet and cute, or I can sit here and I can do what I do and say pew pew pew, and all of a sudden the police are after me, and actually they're the ones that do the things. Holy cow. Hold me now, like a baby. Ow. Or I could say bow, like bow wow, like a little dog. I'm just a puppy with my tail between my legs. I got a sail that I could take, but instead I'll row my boat. One step at a time, one row and I'm fine. Coasting across the ocean until the waves just take me back to my starting place. It's all a race. Like a whiteboard. You mean a blackboard? Sure. A black bird? You're like a mourning dove. More like a white one from above. Caught in between all these things. Colorblind, I think. I like to touch on some controversial things to see what's up on this earth we need to get a little bit of a nut gone. Crazy. Call him a nutcase, maybe. The nuts fall off the trees. Often we see the things just dropping, please. Oh, man. He's saying things he used to say to go back to who he was. I'm saying things I used to say because I'm still who I was. Rhyming it, I don't need to rhyme it, just stand here and put the lines in this. I'll rearrange it later. When I look back and try to cater to all the expectations of people looking at my life and thinking that they can try to make me out to be the villain. Instead, can I have a fill-in? I'll have an understudy for something that I can do that I don't want to take the fall for. You can fall more. You're younger than me. You got better knees. So you pray about it and I'll just be charging through life. I'm on the screens. I look at the TV. The television. Oh, sell them. Wishing for a better thing. Technology often seems to change so fast. We don't know what'll last. Last we know, we don't get any attention on things we do. Next thing we know, everyone's on board with the move. So we get a little bit hyped up and feel like we can just do some things that we Don't want to say it might have been luck. We want to say it's because of us. We want to take the credit for it. We want to go to the heights and soar just to see what the birds do. Looking down at all the people that they can drop some onto. Yikes. Eminem said it. All those who look down on me, I'm tearing down your balcony. See what I mean? Those lines were from he. That guy I said. But I just try to let everyone know that I can jet like a boat. Jet like a plane. Because no matter what I let or don't let, it's all a game. And all's fair in love and war. But who loves war anyway? It's kind of cray. Z. You take the two ends of things. I'm talking about the extremes. Polar opposites, it seems. Bipolar. Oh. The high roller goes down in history as someone no one ever remembered. Call it opposition. Call it do not miss it. Satan and God himself. Two ends of one thing that we can dwell on either side of. So, where are you going to go after this life? You going to heaven or you going to hell? I think I'm dwelling in the place that I'll find myself in once it's over. It's an accumulation of what you have done that sends you to where you stay forever, right? And so I'll stay forever fine. Maybe just trying not to cross the line to the worst side, but stay somewhere half full. Stay somewhere where I can't pull any more tricks out of my hat comes up. What am I gonna do when I can't get back to a righteous life if I was like someone who did some wrong? Well, let me let you know. Let the legislative system goes and maybe don't. Hide it. Don't tell them the truth of life. Just see if they can find out why it's so hard. And there's two sides that don't seem to be leaving, please. Can we just understand? It's about being on the upper hand of the higher and holier man. Meaning, if we're trying to find the place between things from top to bottom, if we can stop just dropping down, then we won't be able to rise back up. It's in the scriptures all over the place. You drop to your knees to get to the higher and holier life you need. God humbles himself as a man, comes down to the earth so that he can return back to the God in the heavens. The one that lets this whole cycle keep happening. Otherwise, when we go back to sleep, we might be stagnant after we close our eyes forever. Unless there was something that just kept and it will just be running like it's hard to catch it. But it's like something you can't get, like a cat with catnip. You just can't get enough of it. And when you get it, then you just wish you had some more. And so you get sore. Chasing after something you'll never actually grab, like a laser on a wall. It's enticing to try to be like God. He's awesome. He's up there at the top of everything else. And I don't want to be down here. But it's because you're down there, you get to idolize the one who's above. And if we all just collectively rose up, sounds great. But now what would it take to make any improvement? If you're already on the top of everything, you couldn't do it. How are you going to get any better if you're not already worse? So, We draw a line in the sand and we say, we don't cross this one and go down to that place where we will never land. We get our feet on solid ground by going upside down, call it a paradoxical life. We go back to Jesus Christ, go to a heavenly, higher and holier place that we can find some sure footing. Building our foundation on the rock, then when the waves won't stop, we won't be swayed. But you draw a line in the sand and you don't know which side to take. Alright, so the metaphors don't stop. Well, I'll listen to the Spirit of God. Even though I don't understand it, I'll try not to imagine and just see if, even though the things that I couldn't get myself to try to help my head to wrap around might just help me out, and now I'm on the ground and wow, I sure could rise up a bit. I sure could rise up again. Because every time I fall, I think I need to come back up to Him. Oh, sure, you can call it a paradox. You can call it a cycle of whatever you want and stop trying to find the answers to it. But then you wouldn't have all the answers, dude. If you're looking for all the answers, who is really the question we gotta ask. It's the answer of who, not what. In fact, you're never gonna have the answers in life that'll last at all because it's so fast and it runs and it falls. And, well, better luck next time. Everything we build and climb, it always falls, and I don't know why. If I'm supposed to be like God, then why can't I fly? Because if you were to fly as high as you could, where else could you fly up to? You'd be up to the top of things. There's nowhere else to move. You wouldn't need this life if you didn't need to improve. And if you didn't need to improve, then there'd be nothing to do. But if you could improve to be the best of the best, then what would be left to do? Call it a middle child. God's on top and the devil's below, and no, somewhere between must be little old me. Sitting here on the bench, just swinging my feet, wondering if I can be tall enough to see on top of things or low enough to drop beneath. I'd call it a life of a human being. I'd call it a life just like you and me. I'd call it my wife, and you and he and her, and you're all just like everyone else. And why can we not help each other collectively be okay between? Instead of just trying to find it, the way that we can dive inside the ocean of life to get back to where we were when we began the climb. Isn't that what's so funny? We try to get there by running. The bliss we had as a child with no responsibilities. But you gotta understand what it really means to be only able to enter the kingdom of heaven if you humble yourself and be like a child and let this life just kind of do what it does to you and be okay with that. Because actually, if we take it back to when you were a kid, you couldn't do this forward and back motion stride with the legs, trying to find a place that you can run to, take your whole life and run away and try to be a better person than they could make you out to be at home, because you don't want to ever succumb to what you were as a kid. Just that. A child that didn't have a say in the matter, no matter how much you pled or asked and wanted to act and try to take it to a different kind of place in the back of the class. It's how you always felt like you were, at least at the lowest. But you got to take your turn. Otherwise, if you don't start somewhere, how are you going to end somewhere different? You start at the beginning and you end just as you were as an infant. But the kids don't run. The babies aren't trying to get to somewhere to get something that they want. What do? They cry. They scream to someone else to try, to see if they can be saved by someone who understands life better than they do. Take 2. Years. And be fairly blissful. But you only get one try, and then you get a fistful of life just pummeling you to the ground with all the things that it can throw like the dirt in your eyes when you try to walk. Get to your terrible twos and you start to do some things, and all of a sudden life is like, oh my gosh, this is more than I need. You start to get mad about it, and you start to get pouty. You start to yell at people, and now we see that you go from a human being that was a person that couldn't even get seasick because life was always rocking you around and you didn't have a thing to do but lay on the ground. Surrender to it because you couldn't have any kind of movement. You couldn't even crawl as a kid until you got to about 2 years old, and then maybe you're walking now, but you walk until you get knocked down. Oh shoot. So you telling me every time I try to improve, I'm gonna have stumbling blocks in my way that drop me back to where I was when I came? Yeah. Enter the kingdom of heaven with me, would you? It gets kind of tricky. Should you try to think that you can do it by being better along the way, you got to go back to the person you were when you came. It's been 2 hours already. Church is over. Welcome to the sermon. What does it mean to be a human being? What does it mean to try to think you can have a religion that means something besides just the truth of all things always? All we need is Jesus Christ, and I think that this life is a lot more simple than it is. Till I stop thinking and it gets more simple than I thought it was, and then it just is as simple as it is. Open your eyes to the truth. Who is going to open your eyes to the truth? It's not me, but it's the person who I'm delivering the messages of to you through what I do. Call it all in episode 16. I don't got no big dreams. Drop me back down to where I was when I was an infant and see if I can get it again. The understanding to how to live in this big world seems like it's so small now. It was so big when I couldn't crawl out of my own crib or I'd fall down. But now that I think I'm on top of something, some things in life I think I'm on top of, and what is gonna happen if I think I'm on top of muffin. Call it a muffin top, call it exploding off, call it I've been popping not like a top knot. I'll be popping off, call it a volcano erupting. Something must just blow up again to get blown back down to the ground on this earth. Just to show you your worth, you know better than the dust of it. You mustn't miss the truth of this. Pulled from the clay, it's just matter that can't be created or destroyed again. It's another human being just in the generations of those that came before. Those generations of those that came, you're sure you're better than them? I think you're more just another cog in the big old wheel of the game of life that we can't slow on down by trying, because the motion that's happened is going. In fact, it's nothing to do with you. Like an ant. Crushed. Stuck to the ground. Looking up at the birds that turn. Flying into a game. Into a show that they can take and rub inside your face, because you can't leave the ground you were made to walk on. I'm sorry, but not a true apology. I'm sorry that you think you can be better than me. Signed, yours truly, any other human being. So thank you.